friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kayla, and if you're not new, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for being here. We're so happy to have you. If you are new, I like to do a lot of book, lifestyle, reading content here on this channel. If any of those things interest you, make sure you stick around, join the party. We got a lot going on, but I am so excited to I am very excited to share with you my March 2023 TBR. These are some of my favorite videos that I have made so far this year, are my TBRs, just to get myself excited for reading and starting a month fresh of all new stories and possibilities that I could be exploring. If you watch my February wrap up, February was a little bit of a bummer in terms of my reading. I stuck to my TBR pretty well. I read 2 books that were on my TBR. I feel like sometimes it's a little bit of a toss-up. But I am feeling a little bit more reset, refreshed, a little bit more stable in my personal life situation, which I think is making me feel like I can be excited to read again. I'm also really excited to start reading this month because I am back to work. I have a commute again. It's not a great commute. I'm not excited about the commuting, but an hour and a half each way on public transit leaves a lot of reading time. So I have hopes for this month to make up for the lost time of February. As always in these videos, I like to pick books that I would like to challenge myself to read, or I feel like it's the right time to read, but I don't bind myself to just the books I talk about in this video. I like to give myself some wiggle room. I like to give myself some freedom of choice. If I start reading a book that's on my TBR and it's not feeling like the right time, or I'm not vibing with it, I'm not going to force myself to read it. I'm going to find something else. But I kind of like this as a guiding structure, and like I said, to get pumped up for reading for a new month. I also am a mood reader or a seasonal reader, so I love to pick books that fit the month or the time of the year. My Dutch oven is heated. I love to pick books that fit the time of year or the season that we're in, and I'm super excited. So this TBR, I have books that I want to read. Some I've already started that we're going to talk about, but I definitely didn't overload myself like I have in the past with TBRs. Sometimes I get a little ambitious and I just get excited to read and I pick everything under the sun that sounds good, and I'm not doing that this month because not only do I last month I looked at my TBR and I was like, I only read 3 books this month. But I gave myself a TBR of like 10, and it felt icky, and I didn't appreciate that I read 3 really good books. So smaller TBR, we're more focused, a little bit more attainable. Somebody is really needing some attention. Maple, what are you gonna read in March? What do you want to read? Something good? Okay. Also starting a new job, I'm just not going to overwhelm myself. There are other things to focus on than just me reading. Lovey, I just really don't want you over there, please. Let's dive on in. These books, short, quick, solid. I'm gonna start with the 2 that I don't have. What is this cat doing? Somebody let me know. The 2 that I don't have, I will put them somewhere on the screen, right over Maple's head, or right over here in my bookcase. The first is You Are Your Own Fairy Tale by Amanda Lovelace. I didn't realize that this had come out yet. I definitely should have known that. Oh, maybe. It is a poetry collection, part of her series, Madam One Fairy Tale by Amanda Lovelace. It is a new collection in her series of fairy tale inspired poetry collections. I love Amanda. She and I have met several times. I invited her to the bookstore where I used to work. I've done events with her. I've done chats with her. I've interviewed her here on my channel. I think my first ever video was an interview with Amanda Lovelace. If I can find it, I'm gonna link it. That's what started it all, y'all. But she has a new poetry collection out that I'm very excited about. I love the 3 in the fairy tale series. The Shine Your Icy Crown, Break Your Glass Slippers, Unlock Your Storybook Heart. All of those I think are such strong collections from her, and I am trying to diversify my reading a little bit. I don't want to get stuck in a rabbit hole. I want to read different things and really have this broad palette of reading, and I'm trying to work poetry back in. I read Atticus back in November, his newest release, so I'm trying to get back to Amanda Lovelace. And that's a short, quick, enjoyable read. I feel like every time I read a poetry collection like that, it is like a solid hour and a half of my life that I sit dedicated and focused, and I feel so much better, so much happier, enlightened by the end of it. And that's my goal. The second I don't have because it doesn't come out yet. I am so on a book buying ban. If you saw my book haul recently, I literally cannot buy anymore. Like, it's not happening, love. No more book buying. I don't have anywhere to put them in this blessed apartment. Not allowed. It may be broken for this book, and that is The London Scion Society by Sarah Penner. I read The Lost Apothecary last January time, last winter, and that was my first book club pick of the year last year, and I really liked The Lost Apothecary. There was a dual timeline perspective of somebody in our time and somebody in the past, and we watched their stories kind of merge together in this like historical fiction adventure. And I think that's what's going to happen again in this book, but it's about a London Scion Society rather than a like apothecary, medicinal, herbal healer situation, who was also kind of a serial killer. So that is on my TBR. May not get read simply for the fact that I don't want to buy any more books. I am excited. I have been talking about this. This has been a goal of mine for this year, to catch up on a series that I am sorely behind on. I actually just saw that there is another one coming that I'm excited about, and that is the Twisted Tales series. I have got Go the Distance on my TBR for March this year. I love Hercules. I've been in such a Greek mythology Hercules mood. I've watched Hercules like twice in the past month, so I think it's only fitting to read Go the Distance by Jen Kalanita. I've read at least one of Jen's Twisted Tales. I think I read the Frozen one, and I really liked it. Some of the authors they include in the Twisted Tales series are kind of hit or miss. Like Liz Braswell is the queen, she is the chief. Jen Kalanita I think falls second, and the other ones are just kind of like meh. But this is what if Meg had the chance to become a Greek god, or what if Meg had to become a Greek god. It's Women's History Month, y'all. Women as the main character. Let's do it. This is short. This is exciting. Also, I'm prepping to go back to Disney World. Judge me not, forgive me for I have sinned. I'm so excited. I'm going to Disney World for 24 hours, literally for 24 hours. So I'm getting excited, adding Disney books to my TBRs, getting myself amped, and this is on here. This feels really attainable. This feels like one I'd be really excited about to get me back in the swing of this series. Next, I mentioned this in my February wrap-up as a book that I did not get to finish, and that is The Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare. This is the first book in the Infernal Devices series, part of the Shadowhunters realm. This is steampunk Victorian London, fighting demons, Tessa Gray, that trilogy, James and Will Herondale, that whole situation, and Jem and Will, swoon. So I will be finishing this book. I got 130 pages in. I was very excited to get back to Tessa's world, get back to the series. I never finished it. I got really frustrated with the Mortal Instruments, thus gave up the Infernal Devices, but I'm ready to go back and finish it. There's 475 pages. I read 130. I got like 350 to go. I'm really liking the story, and I do remember it picking up pretty quick. This is another one that I'm going to finish, and I know I'm going to finish because I just started it yesterday, the day before, and it has just like sucked me in. I'm so excited about this. I haven't read this author in a very long time either, so it feels like I've been needing to get back to it, and I've seen her do some cool things, and I'm excited. And that is This Poison Heart by Kaylin Barron. This is the author that brought us Cinderella is Dead, a fantasy LGBTQ retelling of Cinderella, and this is a retelling of The Secret Garden. Briseis is her full name. I know it's a mythology reference to what? I couldn't tell you, but I will be looking it up. She has the power to grow plants, help plants grow, come back to life, become very vibrant, full, all of that good stuff. She's able to do that. She is adopted by both of her moms. She finds out that her birth mom's sister, her aunt through her birth mom, has died and left her this huge estate in upstate New York where it's surrounded by lush greens and has acres of forests. Where she inherits, she goes to kind of play out her powers, grow into them. She also discovers in this mansion that there is an apothecary where she's creating herbal medicinal remedies, and her birth mother and her birth aunt have been doing this for the people of the town for generations. There is like a dark magic curse element to this. Not quite sure, not there yet. So far I am really liking this book. It moves pretty quickly. It sucked me honestly right in. I'm on page 150 right now of about 360. I think I can finish this in the next like day or so, especially because we got a big snowstorm coming. I will absolutely be doing that and getting this read and knocked off my TBR. It is also a series, I believe. There is a second one out and I think a third one coming. This is the first, and I want to say This Wicked Fate is the second one, which is this Poison Heart number 2. I want to see if they have the third one. This is the second one. This came out in June 2022. Not sure if there's a third one or if this is a finished duology, but I'm excited to keep going. Next are 2 more that I am so excited for. Listen, I feel like I've talked about this on my channel before. If not, let's chat about it. I feel like there is a moment for a lot of the books that I have that I look at and I feel like now's your time to shine. Now it's you and me. Let's go. It's go time. I feel like that about a lot of my books. Sometimes I start them and it's not go time. Like it is so severely not go time, and I kind of get the ick. I'm like, get away from me. Done. Nope, not now. Go away. This series, I didn't know when the go time was gonna be for the last book, and this is one of my toxic traits as a reader. I start a series, I read the first 1 or 2, I become obsessed, I fly through it, and I never finish the series. If y'all remember the Raven cycle, the Raven Boys, all of those books, those 4 books, I devoured the first 3. I met Maggie when the 4th book came out. I was floored, I was shocked, I was astounded. I never read the last book of the Raven Boys. I have no idea how that series ends, because even to this day I get a little bit of like flutters, like butterflies, like, oh my god, I don't want that series to end. It's not time yet. So will I ever know what happens in the end of the Raven Boys? Probably not. But with this series, I've talked about it a lot on my channel, it's go time. I need to know what happens at the end, and that is the Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the 3rd and final book in the Inheritance Games trilogy. I could not shut up about the Inheritance Games last year. I will not be doing that again for you this year. Go watch all of my videos from last year, because I probably mentioned the Inheritance Games in at least half of them. I definitely talk about it in the full-length review. But this is the last book, the Final Gambit. We are finally going to see what happens to Avery. We left off with so much happening at the end of the Hawthorne Legacy, which is the 2nd book in the series. I'm ready to know. I'm ready to know. And I think, especially in this book, the romance is really going to heat up, and I'm very curious about that. I think it's time. It feels right. It feels kind of like, it's not really dark academia, but I kind of associate March still in that dark academia vibe before it turns to spring, and I'm so ready. This is literally just over 300 pages. This will be, I know, a fast read because the first 2 went by like that. I barely knew that they were over. I'm gonna fly through this, and I'm ready to know. And the last book I have on my TBR for this month is an old one, but I think I mentioned in this video, I have been looking to reread a nostalgic series from my past, from the peak years, the golden years of BookTube, and this is even predates that. This is from my time in middle school, 10, 11 years ago. I'm feeling old. That is The Iron King by Julie Kagawa. This book, this series, I know the first 3 were only out when I was in middle school. The Iron King, The Iron Daughter, Iron Queen. Those are the only ones that came out. I never read the last book, The Iron Knight. These are a kind of loose retelling of A Midsummer Night's Dream by Shakespeare. So I'm excited. I'm just excited to go back. I really don't remember a ton of what happens in this series. I just remember it being very like opulent and whimsical and enchanting, and I kind of feel like I want that, and I'm in that vibe and I'm in that groove. These are the new special edition covers. I had previously bought the original cover just because I like wanted to reread the series, and then I saw these covers at Barnes & Noble and I was like, oh no, I want to read that book. So I have this one ready to read and I'm so excited. I am only nervous that it's going to reignite a love for this series, and I'm gonna have to buy more books anyway. But I want to do like a little bit of rearranging of my shelves if I can. It may not be feasible, it may not be reasonable. I want to try and fill this cube and make this my TBR cube for each month, so all the books that I'm reading are in one place. Let's do that. Let's try it, shall we? Okay, first things that need to be relocated in my little TBR cube. I got this Disney World candle for Christmas and it smells so good. I think the jar is really cute. I just have to clean it out. So this, we hate math in this house. We're not doing math, so that's gonna go. One day, this is an Everest of mine. I'll conquer this one day. Not today, but one day. Unfortunately, this is valuable real estate. Okay, I did fill this. This is one other book that I have started and not finished yet, 10,000 Doors of January, so I'm going to include it, even though it's not technically on my TBR, but if I have time, I do want to get this finished. And then these three just look so good together, and maybe as like the eventual Everest, if I keep seeing them next to my TBR, my brain will put them in my TBR. But overall, I love this. Blocking this out, this seems like a fantastic vibe for March. If I can get these 5 done, I will be so thrilled, you have no idea. But if I even get like a couple of them done and read something else, that works for me too. All right, my friends, that is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. You found something good to read for the month of March. If you know what you want to read in this month, what are you looking forward to? Are there any releases that are coming out that you're super excited about? What do you plan to read this month? What's your goal to read this month? Do you have a set number of books you're trying to read? Let me know. What do you think of my TBR? She's beautiful. I'm excited. I'm gonna go start reading. I'm gonna go finish this Poison Heart, and I will see you guys in my next one. Have a wonderful day wherever you are, and happy reading.